All right, I think I got a picture in front of that. I probably drove right on top of that. I came from there. I used to work there. We're gonna go into the, oh my goodness. Oh, well, hello. This guy's an Army pilot, Bronze Star. So this is the War Museum. When Rangers used to wear the black berets, but sometime in the 90s, the Army instituted the black beret for all troops to wear, which didn't give the Rangers any more individual significance or identification. So the Rangers went to this brown town beret. This guy's rank, he's an E5 staff sergeant. Patch on his right shoulder means that he was in combat with the Ranger Battalion. It might be the Ranger Battalion from Fort Lewis. Let's see. 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. Oh, that's him right there. Purple Heart. I'm not sure. I think he's still alive. He got wounded over there. (101st Airborne Division). This looks like an older flight suit. So that was like I said, I've told a couple people, so I was in the Army from like 1987. This is Special Forces, I can tell by that. 1987 to 1995. This was a Warrant Officer 3. Wow, I'm just sweating bullets today. So after the Army, I joined the Air Force. This is an older stripe. That's actually E7 Master Sergeant, but they changed this like in the 90s. This rocker is now a chevron, would be up here. So this signifies staff, tech, that's master, but we don't wear the stripes like that anymore. There's a picture of him. This is a much older Air Force uniform during the Vietnam War. One of the Desert Flight suits that we wear today. Well, I don't fly anymore, but I don't wear it. That's the guy that donated it. Maine National Guard. Oh, female. Unbelievable amount of military stuff in here. I want a picture of that guy again. I'm gonna have to move along. I'm just getting really heated up. So for those of you that are in the military, this may not be any, not that it's not special, but it's nothing new. But those that aren't, I mean, maybe what I should do is just do this, just say, hey, if you ever come to this museum, this is what you'll see. So let me back off. There's no way I'm going to go through each individual one. So you have a Marine representation there. I mean, myself, I'd be very interested in looking at all of them. I like the way they categorize this, though. I'm hitting the light, hitting front. I swear to God, I just thought I saw one of these guys move. This is really freaking me out now. I just thought I saw somebody move. Are you guys? Any of you guys for real? So there's your Navy representation. There might be some Coast Guard mixed in there too. Did you move? All right, how about we move? Okay. You know, there's I gotta be honest with you, you know, I really respect this. I think this is awesome. There's just so much in here. I could spend, I will never get out of here. So let me go ahead and pause this. You guys got a good idea. This is the same building I was in when I was talking to a lady about Bob Waldmeyer. but apparently they have high regard and respect for military here, which is awesome. You really feel the pulse of America on Route 66 and the gratitude they have towards military. Oh, this is actually, this is really interesting, as if I'm walking through a processional. You know, with all these uniforms, there's a sense of reverence about it, a sense of quietness, a sense of respect. That's why I haven't been doing much talking. I mean, these were all worn by, and it'll never change with me. I've been in the military 31 years. I've been in the Army and in the Air Force. I've been all over the world, but to stand on this side of the camera filming this, I get kind of choked up. I get kind of humbled. I don't know, like the men and the women that came before me, just the sheer numbers of people that have served this country. I really wasn't planning on filming this much, because it just seems like the uniforms kind of blend in, but I don't think there's any way I can really explain what I'm seeing. I want to step one down and look at these rifles real quick. Everyone knows I'm a gun aficionado. One with a bayonet on it. Let's go back up to that's a really cool model of a B-17 Flying Fortress up there. Primary heavy bomber used in World War II, especially over Europe. It's a G model because of the chin gunner on it. Looks like World War I era helmets and hats. Old style dog tags. What a vast collection. They need more room. But with the room they have, they've done a really, really, really good job. All right, I'm going to pause it for now and go to a different part of the museum. Hey everybody, so I was walking out and went to go talk to David. David's dad is actually the founder and the one that had the vision for the upper floor of this military. But he told me a lot of information downstairs. I wish I would have captured it earlier, but I'm going to let David go ahead and explain to you what we're looking at now. Thanks, David. Go ahead and tell me what we're looking at.
You bet. This is my father, Dal Estes, from St. Louis. He was drafted at 24 out of St. Louis, trained in the California desert to fight the Germans in North Africa, sent to southern England for the invasion instead. He landed the second wave on Omaha Beach and was wounded at the Battle of the Bulge, Bastogne, Belgium. My dad passed away at 88, and this was his dream for 10 years, and it didn't happen until my mother became tourism director. When my father landed on Omaha Beach on D-Day in the second wave, he was a half-track driver who came into the first bunker that Americans entered on Omaha Beach. He went inside with a buddy and found 2 dead Germans and grabbed a Nazi flag. He carried it throughout the war into Czechoslovakia, brought it home to Chicago where I grew up. And this is a photo of my father with that flag. Exactly 50 years later, he and I went back to France and gave it to a museum where he is honored today.
Now, I do have a question. So on this news clipping, what we're looking at right now, he is wearing the rank of Sergeant E5, but on his uniform, he has the rank of lieutenant. So was he promoted to commissioned officer within his career?
He was. He got a battlefield commission. Actually, he was busted once for hitting a superior officer. This man that you're looking at right now saved my future life, because on D-Day night, if I can show you, my father landed about here at this house at 7:30 in the morning. By 10:30, he was at the bunker. You can see that circled. That night, they stayed in an apple orchard right up the hill, and my dad put Malin on guard duty. About 1 o'clock, 2 Germans came in with sniper rifles. Malin got both of them, saving my dad and the squad. I drove to Pennsylvania about 5 years ago to be with the family at his funeral.
Oh, God bless you.
And then his family brought his uniform to us from Pennsylvania. So now the two buddies are together.
All right, so I hope you guys capture that. So the story told was that and every uniform in this museum has a human being and a story behind it.
That's right.
And this particular set is Dave, correct? Your
Is
first name?
David, yes.
Yeah. So these two rendition uniforms were their stories behind it. This is Dave's father's uniform, right here. And as Dave explained, for that one night while we were moving into Normandy and moving into France, this gentleman was on guard duty, in essence saved the life of David's father, which in effect, like Dave prefaced this statement with, in effect preserved his future being in existence, his future life.
Malin was like most veterans who didn't talk about it. In fact, he didn't tell his family anything. He didn't tell them he was in the D-Day operation or in the Battle of the Bulge. And so 50 years later, my father and I drove to Pennsylvania to tell his family how much the esteem that we have for that man. My dad always talked about it, and we were blessed because of that. He recorded video, he wrote a book, he talked about it at high schools all over the state for the Illinois Humanities Council.
Now, did he stay after World War II? Did he move on to civilian life, or did he stay in the military?
He did in Chicago, and then things got a little rough in the high school that I graduated from. My young sisters were coming up, and he moved the family to Central Illinois and commuted every day from down here to downtown Chicago to go to his job.
Now, not to switch topics so dramatically, but I noticed that you're wearing a Vietnam veteran hat. You also served?
I did. I served in Vietnam for 1 year. Wasn't my idea. I was drafted. I can show you over here. This is my best friend who I lost in Vietnam. His name was Bob Pulaski.